So, Warner Brothers just released the new trailer for Wonder Woman, and the first word that came to mind was color. This trailer had a lot of color, unlike your usual DCEU shitfest where everything's got a gray filter over the top. This movie actually looked bright and interesting. The trailer doesn't show too much more than the first one. You know she's gonna find Steve Trevor, rescue him. She's gonna follow him back to mankind. They're gonna fight in World War One, and that's pretty much the movie. And the trailer looks just okay. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't say that I'm hesitant because this is DC after all, and some of the BVS trailers looked cool, and the movie was garbage. Suicide Squad was garbage. Man of Steel somehow's the best. At this point, nothing surprises me with them, but this trailer looked alright. I'm just wanting this movie to be judged on its merits as opposed to its agenda. I know people are going to praise this movie as the first female superhero movie, which I guess is true, but there was a Catwoman movie, and she was the good guy, so people kind of forget the bad ones and brush them under the carpet, but I don't think a lot of people are going to allow this one to be bad. And I don't mean the filmmakers, I mean the fans, the SJW cuckolds that are going to be on Twitter and Facebook defending this movie. If it's bad, I'm not saying it is bad. The trailer right now, 5 out of 10, right down the middle. It looks okay. Visually, it looks fine. It looks like every other action movie that comes out. It doesn't really stand out on that, and the choreography's alright. Oh, she's on a horse. That looks cool, but it looks just like that scene in the Avengers where they're in the woods in the very beginning looking for Baron Zemo's castle. So, at this point, a lot of the DC stuff is just, oh, we saw this with Marvel. We're just going to cut out one character and insert Batman or Superman or Wonder Woman because that's all DC ever tries with anymore. But back to the agenda stuff. If this movie's good, I'll be the first to admit it. But if it's bad and it's stupid, a lot like Ghostbusters, people are just going to defend it because of what I guess Hollywood's trying to do, what they're trying to push. And I don't think that's right. You got to judge a movie on its quality, filmmaking, cinematography, acting, writing, directing, visuals, all that stuff. That's what makes a good movie. Not, oh, but we wanted to represent this. I don't give a shit what you wanted to represent, all right? Back to the Future is my favorite movie, and it makes fun of Libyans. Do I care? No. And it pisses me off that they even censor it now in TV cuts. Instead of saying, oh, the Libyans, I think they just say terrorist, or, they don't say anything. We live in this stupid politically correct world, and I think this movie is going to be the figurehead for it. I'm putting it out there now. It's 11/3 of 2016. They're going to praise this movie, good or bad. This will be the one that DC fans glom onto, feminists glom onto, wimpy dudes looking to get laid glom onto. Like, those are going to be the ones that this is the one that everyone's going to jump to, and it's going to be, unless it's a complete shit show like the other DC films, it'll make some money. Now, personally, going off my previous experiences with the DCEU films, unless I had this podcast, I have no interest in seeing them anymore. They're bad. All of them. All three. If Marvel made 3 shit movies in a row, I wouldn't have rushed out to see them. Kind of like the X-Men movies. I don't get excited for those. There's no reason to get pumped up for, 90 minutes of bullshit. The first one was good. The second one was great. And they sloped and barely gone up, but not by much. Same thing with the DC movies. They've all sucked. They've progressively gotten worse somehow. I'm still on the fence. Was Batman v Superman worse than Suicide Squad? Hate is a word I use to describe both of those movies, and I never want to sit down to watch either of them again. Ben Affleck was cool, but whoop-de-fucking-do. Gal Gadot, or Gal Gadot, or however you pronounce her name, the woman that everyone's praising from BVS, mostly was CGI and wasn't that interesting. Now, if she's as wooden in this movie as she was in BVS, then we got a big problem, because she looks good. I just don't think she's a very good actor. I've seen her in other movies, the Fast and Furious movies, Batman v Superman, was that Triple Nines or whatever, the one that came out earlier with Anthony Mackie this year. Like, I've seen her act. I'm not impressed. So, I think she's going to get a pass, though, from a lot of, yay, Iron Woman, hear me roar people, because, oh god, girl power, what the fuck ever. Just know that World Class Bullshitters is going to judge the movie objectively on the quality of the filmmaking. We don't care. Oh, they made her look strong. Well, if it makes sense within the story, we'll buy it. But if it's like Star Wars Episode 7, where it's just a fucking agenda covered in nostalgia, I'll be the first one to call it out. Because, bullshitters is in our name, but we don't take bullshit, especially from Hollywood and society. So, I've rambled on far too long about this Wonder Woman trailer. It's just okay. That's my final thought. It's just okay. You've seen everything. You've seen more from the Comic-Con footage, and you've seen more than you will here. If they do Wonder Woman as good as they do in the cartoon Justice League, I'm all there. But they're not, because it's, all movies nowadays aren't really about the actual movie. It's about the narrative about the movie, if that makes sense to you. Like, all these are going to have female directors, and this and that and the other. Well, cool, but don't, cast or don't hire a female director just because it's a female director. Like, oh, she's got to have a woman's voice. Wonder Woman's a fucking fictional character made from clay. Nobody on Earth knows what that's like, or can even fictionalize what that's like, based on their own experiences. So, save me that bullshit. It's the same argument I make about you have to have a black director make Black Panther. Unless you have a fucking African prince director directing Black Panther, their life experiences aren't going to cross over, because American life is far different from African life. And it's even further from Wakandan life, which is one, fictional, and two, they're like the smartest, richest society in the world. So maybe like a guy from Dubai could understand the internal conflicts that T'Challa would have if they're trying to get this whole life experience thing. Like I told you guys, it's just a marketing ploy. It's like the whole Jessica Jones thing, which is Marvel's weakest TV show. They're like, oh, every episode's going to be directed by a woman. Okay, well, hopefully it's like more of like a Penelope Spheris situation where she made Wayne's World, and not once in that movie did you go, oh, this is some bullshit, this is meant to attack men or whatever, and it's not some garbage like you're going to get with this Wonder Woman movie. Because even in the end of the trailer, they keep trying to throw these digs. Oh, don't dress like a lady. You gotta fight. You gotta do this. You gotta do that. Well, look, it's just subtle messages in society that Hollywood keeps putting out there, and people buy into it. If you buy into it, I got some bad news for you. You're an idiot. Sorry to offend you, but if you buy into the fucking moral messages that these movies put out there, you're a goddamn moron. So I'm gonna let this one go. Stay tuned tonight. We're going to review Doctor Strange, which personally I'm excited for. It looks great. I hope it's as great as everyone else says it is. I've kept myself away from the internet, spoilers and all that stuff, so I'm going in with basic Doctor Strange knowledge, and expect that within a few hours. On a side note, the Flash has lost his director again, so expect a video from me and the rest of the bullshitters on why the DC Universe is dead on arrival at this point. And, by the way, November is Superhero Month here on World Class Bullshitters. Now, I'll never go through Schlocktoberfest again, unless the year shows that every video gets at least 1,000 views. But what I will do is we will present to you a smattering of superhero-themed videos throughout the month, including drunk commentary podcasts on all the worst superhero films. Notice that it's a lot easier to talk shit, or actually just talk about a bad movie, as opposed to have a discussion on a really good quality film, because you want to watch the quality. If I sit down to watch Spider-Man 2, I'm not going to say very much. But if we sit down to watch The Amazing Spider-Man 2, I won't shut up. Also, I have a big undertaking. I'm announcing this early, but it's coming soon. I'm going to release a video titled Let's Rank Marvel, where I literally rank every Marvel film. Not TV show, not anything like that, but Marvel movie. And it doesn't have to be just the MCU. So, according to my calculations, if they're correct, there are 45 films, feature films, produced about Marvel characters. So, it'll be a 5-day series, 9 days each, or 9 videos each, or 9 films each. And, it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to see what you have to say. So, thanks for listening to my 10-minute video on the Wonder Woman trailer, which turned out to be a whole thesis on the state of comic book movies. Anyway, this is Jeff of World Class Bullshitter signing out. Have a good one, and we'll be back tonight with Doctor Strange.